Hello and welcome back to Operation the Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and Happy New Year! This is the first video I am posting of this year, even though I recorded it before the year began because I'm not home. Anyways, Happy New Year! I hope all of you are enjoying your holidays, whether you're at work or actually spending time with family. Like I should be at the time when this video goes live. Now, speaking of spending time with family and friends, this video is a special. It's a very fun time with friends. So for this battle, we're going to use the Sicilia. It's the Italian battleship. It's based off the Colombo hull. So it's Italian battleship. It's based off the Colombo hull. It had, instead of having SAP main battery, it has HE for its main battery shells, and it has SAP secondaries. Also, the secondaries have been upgraded. So the secondaries are American 127s, 127 38s on Mark 12s on the Mark 32 mount. So they are American 127s, which gives it decent AA. So it actually has AA, unlike most Italian ships where their AAs lacking or too short range. And I mean, in this full secondary build, we actually get those down to a nice 4.1 seconds, which is actually about what you would expect from those guns in real life. So as for equipment, since as I said, we're doing a secondary build, because why not? Let's do secondaries for the new year. This video and next week's video will be secondary builds, because all mains like secondaries. Okay, PvE people like secondaries. I mean, there are some PvP people who like their secondaries too, but it's a lot easier to be in secondary range in PvE modes. So, we have main battery armaments, because our main battery are actually important. I guess if you want the true secondary build is the auxiliary, but we also want to keep our main. It's a dealer's choice there. We have damage control system to reduce a chance of catching fire by -5%. We have the secondary mod. So in this one, aiming system mod or secondary mod don't both work. If you're doing main gun, you do aiming systems. If you do secondaries, you do secondary mod. And it really depends on the op which one's better, or player preference. If you don't like to be up and brawling, then I would suggest making this as a main gun build, because this ship is just as good in a main gun build. Then we have damage control to reduce those fire times to increase survivability. We have concealment so we can get up closer and increase dispersion. And lastly, we have auxiliary mounts that reduces the secondary battery reload by 20% and increases AA by 15% AA damage. The other option is the main gunnery mount, and so if you're doing a main battery build, I would choose this one, but here we're doing a secondary build, so that's why we went with the auxiliary mounts, because it has decent AAs, that is nice, plus the secondary that actually gets you down nice 4.1 seconds for that and 6.8 for the 152, rather than the much longer reload time you have standard. We could go with smoke generator, but I didn't, so this is what I normally do, is Charlie Kilo for health, fire and flooding to recovery, so that for survivability, secondary flag, speed, and heal flag. The only other one so if we were to get two more, it would be these two. Now on to the commander. So we're using Cincinnati, because why not? If you're running an Italian captain, you might as well run Cincinnati. If you don't have Cincinnati, you can ignore this. If you don't have Cincinnati, you can grab Cincinnati from the armory, and by containers. So you can get containers to get the collection to grab Cincinnati, and he is pretty much a must on Italian ships. So if you ever want to run Italian ships and make the best of them, PvE, PvP, doesn't matter, you want Sansonetti. Because first off, if you get Confederate, you get main battery reload time. So that's PvP only. But PvE mode, if you get, once you destroy a ship, your main battery range extends plus 8%. That's nice for reach. And once you have 100 shell hits, your consumables extend by 10%. So these are nice. He has the improved swap if you want to grab that. I guess you could grab that. However, because we're doing a secondary build, I don't have that because I want Adrenaline Rush, and we're 1 point away from getting Adrenaline Rush. So we have preventive maintenance for survivability of modules. We have priority target because we want to know who's looking at us. Can we shoot? Can we push up? Do we need to pull back? This information is very vital. You have your secondary guns, and then you have concealment and fire prevention. Concealment is to get you up closer. So with double concealment, you're down to 14 kilometers, which is still pretty high, but it could be worse without it. And then fire prevention because you want to stay alive. And and then secondaries. So the other thing I'd be getting is Adrenaline Rush. That's my next plan. IFHE does nothing for this ship. This should be crossed out. It does nothing. And there's nothing to improve your sap damage. So this is all for secondary. All you get for secondaries. So with that, let's go ahead and head into. Okay, so as you see, this is a full division, and there's something very should be very obvious about the division. Now we are doing this in Hermes, but like it doesn't matter what we got. It just happened that we're in Hermes. No. I mean, if you haven't noticed it right now, I'll just state it out loud. And those of you who do know, you probably have. Yeah, this is a full Italian division. You have 2 Venezias, 2 Michelangelos, 2 Sicilias, and Paolo Emilio. So, besides the Venezias, it's because one of our players only had a Venezia. This is their only high-tier Italian ship. We were hoping for more Napoli or Michelangelo for more secondary memes, and that's why the 2 of us brought Sicilia, because these Sicilias are secondaries. We're hoping for more secondary memes. Palermo is a well, I mean, their main guns are the same size as most of the secondaries, so they're a special mission. So this is probably actually the worst mission for a full Italian division, because outside Sicilia, most of these ships have pretty bad AA. So the 2 Sicilia here are going to be the main AA ships in this mode. And so we have here armor piercing lined up, and then armor piercing lined into high explosive, because we're going to shoot 1 salvo at the Brindisi, miss all our shells. And then we are going to start shooting at the destroyers, because if we can miss the cruiser with all of our armor piercing, we're certainly going to hit the destroyers, right? Right? And so the downside about Sicilia, even though building secondary is nice and fun, is that, well, with all the Italian ships that have SAP secondaries, all of them that are advertised as high efficiency secondaries, it means that when they hit, they do damage, but their accuracy is on the lower side. So you're not going to actually hit that much. You're going to do better with German or the American accurate secondaries. So And even then, yeah, if you really want a good secondary ship, it's called, well, there's a few now. There's the Schlieffen line, that's good secondaries, and then there's the Pan American battleships are good at secondaries. And they are currently probably the best options for secondaries, better than any of the premiums. After that, for premiums, actually Michelangelo is really nice for secondary. But she's a dockyard ship. Next one is Schroeder. Oh wait, that's another dockyard ship. So the other good secondary boats are locked behind not being able to obtain them. And if you really want an Italian ship, an Italian premium secondary, then it's going to be Napoli, which I've done videos on. Sicilia is a nice battleship, just I'd say she's too much for what she does. Like, you can do Colombo Legendary mod for main guns, and I believe that's better than Sicilia, or you can get Napoli for the secondary names, and that's better than Sicilia. So, but that said, she does have a nice gun, and if you want an Italian ship that has HE, then I guess here's your option. I mean, there's Roma, and then there's this. I think there's a couple other battleships that also have HE here and there that you can still obtain, unlike Julius Caesar, which is currently unattainable because it's for tier 5 it's too good. It's not really good in any one thing, it's just slightly better than average in everything, which makes it all too powerful. So that's why it was removed, and that's why people still play it at tier 5. I mean, we have our secondary going, we're not even at 100, and I think if we were at a German ship, we probably would have hit our 100 secondaries by now. But as you see, there's just plenty of secondaries for everyone. So we're shooting at Schlieffen behind, not the Preußen, because we should be able to penetrate the Schlieffen. Getting ready to swap, and there we go. We are swapping targets to the Schlieffen. With 11.3 secondaries, we wanted to make sure that Schlieffen was in range, and because Schlieffen has the lower armor, it's easier for our secondaries to penetrate so we can actually do damage. And now that Schlieffen is the only one who can be shot at, you can see a lot of shells going after them. And no more torpedo tubes, and no more Schlieffen here? Yep, no more Schlieffen. And so that's another thing about the secondaries, is there's really no way to increase the penetration. So, like the secondaries here, there's no way to increase the penetration, and they don't start fires, and that's the big thing. They don't start fires. So, whereas normal secondaries are a very good source of battleships for starting fires, which is kind of like, why don't you let secondaries actually be good? Because they penetrate 36 millimeters of armor, so that you're going to get raw damage, but you're not setting fires, you're not taxing the DCP. Most of the damage they do can be healed back, and because it's not going to do citadel damage. Like, even the 152s on here do have 42 millimeters of penetration. There's very few citadels that can penetrate at tier 10. Sure, at lower tier ships that would be enough to penetrate, but not at tier 10. Not at tier 8. No, you're looking at tier 7 or lower ships for that to penetrate. Now, we are going to continue going forward. Just loading up for the torpedoes, but since there's There's no need. We didn't get hit at all for this. There's no need for us to sit in the circle. We're just going to keep going. And for the most part, if you have full health, it can be done by yourself as well. But if you are full health, then you might as well just go. And there's Theis running away for his dear life as he missed towards. The Polymelio is an interesting ship. It's very different from the normal line as the tech tree line. It came about before the tech tree line. So what it has is I believe it's 6-kilometer torpedoes, and then detection that's even higher than that. So you have to use your smoke to go in and be able to stealth torp. Unfortunately, it's countered by anything that has hydro and radar. Anything and everything that has hydro and radar. So, like the FDG that has hydro, that when it sees torps, it's going to use its hydro. And since he whiffed on his second rack of torps, the hydro was on for a little bit longer until he got out of the 6-kilometer range of the hydro. And here we're doing devastating work with our HE. Only hitting 25% of our shells. Now that the destroyers are dead, we're using our smoke, and this is so that none of the bombers go after us. I know we're selfish. We could have shared that, but it allows. It actually what it does is it makes the bombers go towards the main bulk, and so they fly through more AA. So because they're flying through more AA, more of them aren't being shot down. And the overall damage is going to be less because they can't target the lead ship. And they just have to fly through all of our A before they can target anything. Which, if you're in the front, that's something to do. If you're in the back or next to Ruan, you can use your smoke and help cover Ruan. But since the bots will just be shooting their guns all the time whenever they get a chance, the smoke doesn't really help. I mean, I guess it kind of does since you only have a 7-second. So within the storm, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's 7 seconds. Maybe it's 14. But you have a reduced time before you get go undetected than in a normal match. So here we have I, Quake and I are rushing up to the front since we're both at full health. We haven't really taken much. And as you can see, this is a really good way in which you can see if a team is good in Hermes or not. As you can see, Ruan is all the way in the back by herself. A good team in Hermes will be all up in front of her, clearing the way. A bad team in Hermes will be waiting for her to lead the path. And so even if you're by yourself, you want to head up, you want to be in the front, you want to help clear the way. And sometimes just by getting up in the front, you can by spotting the red ships, you can direct the other players because all other players are damage hungry and want those numbers, so they'll go to where the red ships are. Because if they can't shoot red ships, they're not cycling their guns, and it's not activating the neurons that happens when you get the boom sounds from your big guns. I mean, I do personally enjoy the sounds of some of the guns. Like, you can do anything with Shikishima gun sounds. Anything with the big sound. Shikishima, Yamato, what else? It's 11 overpens. That was unlucky. Incomparable and Satsuma. Big gunships. Making sure our secondaries are on destroyers because they are effective against destroyers, and this allows us to use our main guns against the big ships. Clausewitz, let's see if we can kill it. Avenge season. No, 3 overpins. And Iodai's corpse stops us. So if any torpedoes were going for us, they have now missed. So we're activating our own smoke so that we become undetected while we're waiting for our main guns to reload. And so this will let our secondaries focus on destroyers. And now that Z-52 Hydra, which can kill Z-52, let our secondaries kill Schultz. And we're not shooting at the Richtofen because we're killing the stuff that can kill us. We're focusing on staying alive, doing more damage, and let our allies take care of the Richtofen while we are doing this. And by doing that in the front, we're more or less taking, but there's multiple of us up in the front, and so that means the bots will have to swap to and fro. And this helps everybody, as many people as possible, stay alive when bots constantly have to swap targets because they're looking at the closest ship and the closest ship keeps changing. The other thing is, if you have a tanky ship, you want the tanky ship to be in front most of the time. Not all the time. You want to spread the tankiness around, but most of the time you want the tanky ship in the front. Nice. There we go. We now have extended our consumables just in time for the match to end. We have our 100 shell hits. So it is possible. With longer matches, you can actually get more use out of it. This one, it's about over. So as you can see, we've cleared the map, and Ruan is almost at her end. We saved our HP and then started taking at the end, but as you can see, we didn't use that much on health. I think we only used 1, and then we were losing HP a lot. And that's the thing. This ship isn't super tanky, so you will lose HP a lot if you get under constant fire. So you generally want a tankier ship in front. So a 5-star, we get our C-star and our assistant, 102 shell hits. We're top of the board. Sicilia's top of the board. I still think Michelangelo's a better ship if you can get it done. Our main battery did 143. Our secondary did 162. For once, our secondaries actually did good. Might be I'm just bad at shooting main guns, or I just let our secondaries do more work. And we ended up with a total profit of 362,000 credits with our special ship using green boosters. So with our 288, in this map, I actually was surprised with how well the secondaries performed. So this is not usual. This is above average, but it's probably because I had teammates to help and support, so I got in position rather than dying early because everything focused on me. Now, she does have a good get out jail free with the smoke, so you can use it to disengage and get behind allies or get into a better position. But that means you're giving up your main guns, because as soon as you shoot your main guns, you're viewable from 16, 17 kilometers away. That said, if you enjoyed this fun video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you want to see more videos or get notifications when my videos come out, please click that subscribe button. It really means a lot. I mean, I'm not making money from this channel. It doesn't matter there. But I do like seeing the notifications of subscribers coming, and it helps me know that I'm reaching more people, because I want to help more people get better at ops. With that said, I do hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.